Good evening and welcome to Kindergarten Information Night here at Greensview Elementary School. We're very excited to have people in attendance this evening, and we're looking forward to sharing about the things that we have to offer here at Greensview. In the Q&A section at the bottom, there's a spot to ask questions. Feel free, as we go through the presentation this evening, to go ahead and type your questions in there, and we'll do our very best towards the end of the presentation to get answers to your questions. My name is Jason Wolf. I'm the school principal here at Greensview. Our presentation should be about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on questions and Q&A at the end. And we would like to welcome you and your student next fall to the class of 2035. It's hard to imagine saying that. I remember when my son first started kindergarten, and he was the class of 2018, and I thought that was way off into the future. And yeah, that has come and passed already, and he's a college senior. So time flies, and I know that that you will enjoy the ride as I did. Welcome to Greensview. We have a quick video that is of our kindergarten students, and I think you will enjoy them singing the Greensview theme song. I'd like to thank our music teacher, Molly Ossian, for pulling that together for us, and for the kindergartners that did all the choreography and the dance moves there. I know that song will be in my head throughout the rest of the evening here. It's kind of a catchy tune. Again, my name is Jason Wolf. I'm the school principal. This is my 24th year in education and my 13th here at Greensview Elementary as the school principal. Kate?
Hi there, my name is Kate Drugan. I'm a kindergarten teacher. This is my 19th year being an educator and my 9th year at Greensview.
Hi, I'm Holly Klein. I am one of the kindergarten teachers, and this is my 25th year teaching and my 25th year at Greensview.
Hi there, I'm Elizabeth Galetka, and I This is my 7th year in kindergarten at Greensview, and I started teaching 23 years ago. And this is a great place to be.
Hi, my name is Laura Kunkel. I'm the school counselor here at Greensview. This is my 8th year as the counselor at our building, and I actually went to Greensview myself as a student a long, long time ago.
Hi, my name is Gina Rancitelli. I am the Greensview school nurse. This is my first year as the school nurse here at Greensview. I have been in the district, however, this is my 14th year. So it's great.
Hi, I'm Chris Pavlicek, and I am the MTSS lead teacher at Greensview. This is my 22nd year teaching, and most of them have been at Greensview. We're really happy that you're here this evening.
Thank you all very much. Our goal this evening really is to help you and your child feel comfortable with the transition to kindergarten and your choice of choosing Greensview Elementary School. We'd like to remind you that you're really not picking a kindergarten program, but you're picking an elementary school community and family. And so this really is a decision that you're making for the next 6 years. We're here to help you today and tomorrow and over the next couple of years. And we like to think of education as a partnership, and we're working side by side with our parents and with the community to make the experience a special one. We also want this to be a family experience, and so we love it when our families are here at school, when we have special school events. We like to see it as a full crowd, and our goal here is to develop relationships with each of you, with the teachers, with administration, with our special area teachers, and with our support staff, to create a strong, caring, inclusive school community. We have a packed agenda tonight, and we will move quickly so we get everybody off to dinner here in a timely manner, but we are recording this, and so that you can go back and watch it again or find the key parts of information that you need to, if you need to look things up again. In addition, if you ever have any questions, you can always call or email the school, and we can get you the information that you're looking for. So a little bit about our kindergarten program. This is our very first year of a full day kindergarten program, and under the leadership of our school board, we made that shift this year to full day K, and it's been an amazing experience all the way around. It helps build upon the high quality academic program offered in the Upper Arlington City Schools by having a full day program. All day kindergarten meets the needs of our developing learners, and so that we're able to learn and grow academically and socially and emotionally. And that full day really allows us to slow things down, make sure we have time for play, and time to learn how to do school. The full day program also provides more time for our students to develop skills in the core academic areas while maintaining our focus on developing the whole child through that social emotional growth. And what might a kindergarten day look like? I'm going to take a quick peek at a quick video, and then we'll be able to talk a little bit more. Get my tech working here for me. This is a little bit about our kindergarten day. Is one of our kindergarten teachers talking about this?
You know what, we are going to go more into this in the next couple slides
Okay,
in detail. So if we can go to the, yeah.
there you go.
One of the biggest things we learn in kindergarten is how to do school. This will be your child's first experience in the big school. So things that we really concentrate on throughout the year, and especially in the beginning, is to be independent, how to be a good friend, how to work with others, how to take care of our belongings, walk into the building, put our things away, where does everything go? Being a member of not just a classroom community, but really a whole school community. We learn how to share our feelings with our words, and we learn to follow simple 3-step directions.
So part of helping to foster how we do school really starts right away when the kids come in the morning. We teach them right away, how to put away their backpacks and unpack their lunches and put their green folders where they need to go. And in the beginning of the year, that takes a little bit of time, but it is amazing how proficient they get at that. Practicing it a few times. We usually start our mornings with some morning work on a morning meeting to help with our community building. Our math curriculum has a wonderful calendar process that's called Number Corner. That's also a big part of our morning and our day. Throughout the day, not just in the morning, but these are little kids who need to move their bodies frequently, and we build in a lot of music and movement, singing and dancing. Some of it's just for fun, but a lot of it is helping us with our early literacy skills and our math skills. It's amazing what you can find on the World Wide Web that helps kids learn and sing appropriately. And another big part of our morning routine is our phonics and phonemic awareness programs that we use. We've been using them for several years, and they really help foster the early literacy skills that early readers and writers use. And Jason, if you can go to the next slide, that will, thank you. So those phonemic awareness and phonics skills really play a huge part in our literacy rotations and reading and writing workshop. Once the children understand each of the different areas of literacy rotations, it's amazing how much they look forward to doing the rotations. There are usually 5 or 6 different sort of stations that they participate in, and all of them, from reading to self or someone, reading with a teacher, listening to reading, working on word work, which goes right along with the phonemic awareness and phonics, working on their own writing. All of that, helps set them up for their early literacy foundational skills that they need.
So at some point during the day, the kids go to a special area. So we do have a special area every day. Our choices or our schedule includes art, music, and PE. And kids go to 2 sessions of each special area per week. So if you're doing the math, you're probably thinking, how do you fit in 6 different blocks into 5 days? So there is one day that we do have a double special day. Sometimes the specials are back to back, sometimes one's in the morning, one's in the afternoon. But throughout a 5-day span, the kids will get 2 sessions of art, 2 sessions of music, and 2 sessions of PE. We'll also have lunch and recess during the day. So lunch is about a 20-minute period where they're able to eat lunch. And then after that, we do recess. Our current schedule is after lunch, we go outside for recess for 20 minutes. And then back inside for indoor recess for 20 minutes. And the reason we do that is because 40 minutes is a long time for kids in kindergarten to be outside, no matter what the weather is. But their attention spans are not a lot, so we try to change it up pretty frequently. When you come to Greensview, you do have options for buying a lunch if you choose not to pack. You actually have 4 lunch options each day, 2 rotating options that are 2 new choices each day, and then 2 staple choices. The Golden Bear Fun Lunch, which includes a yogurt, a cheese stick, nacho chips, and I'm blanking on other things. And then also the other choice is sun butter and jelly sandwich. And then they also always have a fruit and a veggie, a couple of choices to do that. And then after our lunch recess in the afternoon, we have a couple different things that happen. We have our guidance lessons with Mrs. Kunkel. That averages about twice monthly. So she'll come in and she'll do 2 lessons a month with our kids. Library, we have weekly lessons with Mrs. Merkel. At the beginning of the year, it's to introduce the kids to the library, how to use a library, and then we transition into more of a checkout time and transition into doing more STEM projects with her. We also have something new this year that we've just started. It's called Exploration Hour. It is new to the whole district at all of the elementary buildings. Every 2 weeks, we have our exploration teachers come into our classrooms and do some STEM and exploration type activities with our children, while the kindergarten teachers have professional development and speak as a school team to talk about kids' needs. We also have a play workshop, and Jason mentioned this earlier. Out in our common space between our classrooms, we have a beautiful space with lots of play furniture. So we give kids time every single day to play and practice the things that they have been learning in their guidance, and the things that we've been teaching about how to be a good friend and how to ask somebody to play with you, and solving conflicts and lots of things. So it's great structured practice for our kids to get every single day while they're playing. Some of the activities include Legos, a kitchen, dollhouse, writing station. I'm looking out there to see, we have a workshop, baby dolls, lots of different choices, and arguably it's their favorite part of the day. We also have a math workshop. Our math program is called Bridges, and it's a very child-centered program, and it offers a quick mini lesson. And then we also have something called Workplaces, which is games that we introduce to the kids. They are math games, and almost daily we are able to have them practice what we've been learning about through playing games. Finally, we have our theme time. So this is where we draw on any science or social studies aspects, and then we dismiss at 2:50 p.m.
So we often get questions on what can I do to get my child ready for kindergarten. So we brainstorm some ideas. One of the biggest things is to write their name, start with a capital letter and use lowercase after that, their first name. Listen to and recite nursery rhymes together, bringing in that phonemic awareness with the rhyming. Count to 20, count 1-to-1 items to 20. Really, I just start with 10. For lunch, how to open containers and Ziploc bags, how to close them, how to open their backpacks, and how to open their lunch boxes. bathroom independence. The bathrooms are not connected to our rooms, so they'll have to walk and go to the potty by themselves. And they're self flushers. So if your child doesn't like those, maybe desensitizing them with going someplace that there are loud flushers so they can hear it and get used to it. Follow simple instructions, maybe 1 to 2 step instructions at the beginning, like go get your coat and shoes and then come back here. Just real simple things. Read to them, listen, have them sit and listen to read alouds, talk about the books, talk about what happened in this story, and then really just work on independence. If there's some separation problems, maybe work on that before you come to kindergarten. All these things are just going to make your child's first day of school more successful. And we will love your child and take them wherever they are, and we will get them there. But these are just some ideas that you can do at home.
Thank you, kindergarten team. Great recommendations for sure, especially coming off of the COVID world that we're living in. Things have been a little tricky for some of our friends, and that full day of kindergarten can be a very long day. And so having some of those things in place before they even arrive will help them have a good adjustment to school. We're going to go over the kindergarten registration process, which I believe is one of the big reasons why you're here. It opens on Monday, February 7th. We encourage your all of our families to complete the process as soon as possible, all the way up to March 8th. And that really helps us with our planning and staffing purposes so that we know how many kindergarten teachers we need, how many sections we need. So if you can do that during that window, that would be excellent. You can find that registration link on the district webpage. After you complete the online registration, you'll be prompted for some additional information like a birth certificate or passport, proof of residency, custody papers, even an immunization record, and those things you'll be able to bring to the registration and get those things turned in. Other items to consider when registering. In Upper Arlington, we have a choice of 2 different types of instructional programs. We have the contemporary program, which is what Greensview is, and we also have a progressive informal program, which is Wycliffe Elementary School. And in Upper Arlington, you can choose between the 2 programs. So even if you live right across the street from Greensview, but you prefer a more progressive type of program, you can choose to send your child to Wycliffe. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about that here later in the presentation, but want you just to be aware of that as we get moving forward here. Students must be 5 years old by September 30th in order to register for kindergarten. Our school hours are listed below, 8:15 to 2:50. And our first day of school is also interesting in kindergarten. It's August 16th and 17th, and those are getting to know you days. And your child will actually come to school on only one of those days. And when you register, you will also be getting communication on which of those 2 days your child will be attending school. And the idea behind that is to have half the number of students start to make it less overwhelming on that first day so they have a better chance to have contact with their teacher, kind of ease into the first day of school. So your child will either begin on the 16th or 17th, and we can get that information to you as soon as possible. And that will probably come to you after registration and you kind of pick your day there. The full calendar too, I encourage everybody to go to the district webpage for the building calendar and for the district calendar, and keep that handy because that does change from time to time, but that is where you have the most accurate information on days off, vacation times, things like that. In Upper Arlington, we also offer open enrollment. This could be families who want to be considered for school outside their districted area. And I assume our attendees this evening, Greensview is probably your home school. If for some reason that you want to attend a different elementary school, you have that option to apply for that. You would register first at Greensview as your home school, and then you can apply for open enrollment between February 10th. And those are accepted all the way up until April 15th for consideration. All decisions for open enrollment are really based upon the enrollment numbers for specific grades. For example, if we have 3 sections of kindergarten, and those are full up at 24 kids already. We're not going to be able to open enroll any additional kids because our class sizes would get too big. But it is something that if you're interested in, you can apply for and see if there is availability in other schools. We also get kids here at Greensview that maybe started off at Tremont but moved to the Greensview area and they want to come to Greensview. So there are open enrollment options. You also have school transportation. Mr. Don Williams is the Director of Transportation, and his email will be one that you want to have on hand if your child would need busing for the school year. There's just an image of where the transportation is under students and families on the Upper Arlington webpage. The kindergarten screening process. Kindergarten screening is when your child is invited to come into the building and gets to meet the Greensview staff, the teachers that you see in front of you here today. And we conduct some games and some assessments to kind of determine their readiness. It is not an assessment or anything that determines whether they can come to school. It really just gives us information on where they are and the things they might need as we get started for the school year. You'll also complete during that time, Gina and our school nursing team will be there to complete our vision and hearing screenings at that time. The screenings are going to be held in early August on the 2nd and 3rd of August. And when you register, you'll have an opportunity to sign up for one of those days so that you can kind of pick and choose the time that works for you and your family. We do try to work real hard to make sure that we accommodate. If one of those days doesn't work, you can also do a screening at one of the other buildings and they can send us the information over to Greensview if that works better for your schedule. Right after the screening process is when we have an opportunity to sit down as a team and place all the students into their classrooms. And so probably a day or two after the kindergarten screening is on the 2nd and 3rd, you'll get information about who your actual classroom teacher will be for the following school year. Gina?
Hi again. So here's some basic information that you'll want to keep track of. This is our contact information and the easiest ways to reach, myself or our clinic nurse, Casey, if you needed one of us. I'm here Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 8 to 4. Casey is here on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 8 to 3. That's our phone number, our extension, and my email address, as well as the Greensview Health Clinic address. My goal here is to provide a healthy environment for your child or your children so they have the best opportunities to learn and grow. Like I mentioned, there's always a registered nurse here in the clinic during those school hours. When you go and sign up your student for kindergarten, you will need to make sure that you bring along a complete record of your child's immunizations. And you can find that information on our district website. If your student has a special health concern or medication that they need to have given during the school day, please let us know. We will need to have that information so that we can, better take care of your student throughout the school day. And our health forms can be found on our district website under students and families. And I look forward to seeing you and your child on kindergarten screening day.
Thank you, Gina. You can find information on the Greensview Health Office site there on the Greensview page. Just a little bit more about our instructional programs. I mentioned the contemporary program, which is what we are here at Greensview. And really what that means is that our instructional philosophy is kind of based on a best practices approach to learning. If you were to come to Greensview and observe, you're going to see a variety of learning environments and approaches depending on the needs of our students and kids at the time. You might see independent work, you might see small group collaboration taking place. our new lovely buildings allow for some amazing collaboration where our garage doors go up and kids can spread out into common spaces and work and play. You might see times too when it's important to have some specific teacher-led instruction, which is definitely going to be occurring. And you're going to see kids with the opportunity to do some student inquiry. You're going to see some whole class instruction, projects, research, and utilizing their iPads and the technology that we have in the building. Some interesting pieces about our Greensview staff is that 85% of our teaching staff have worked hard to become Apple certified teachers. They use our iPads and devices when it makes sense in the classroom. It's not used all the time, but it is an amazing tool, even starting in kindergarten for kiddos to work on for videos and drawing and applications that are on there. And as the kids get older, they start to do even more with them, creating projects and using their Keynote and doing presentations just like we're doing tonight on their iPads. Also, an interesting component about Greensview is that our 4th and 5th grade classes are departmentalized. Basically, what that means is the students, when they get to 4th and 5th grade, they travel between their classroom teachers. Their teachers are specialists in content, and the students will have an opportunity to work with all the different teachers at each of those grade levels. And that starts in 4th and 5th grade here. Up until then, they're a self-contained classroom. We enjoy a rich history of service learning and academic success here at Greensview. And really that comes down to a collaboration between parents and staff. It is one of the most important things that we have going on in our relationship with our PTO is very strong here. And I'm going to get to some particulars about the PTO, but they're an amazing group of people that I hope many of you will take the time and opportunity to get to know and become a part of. Like even Laura mentioned on here that many of our teaching staff are UA graduates. I happen to be a UA graduate myself, but 26 staff members here at Greensview actually live in Upper Arlington. 16 of them are graduates of Upper Arlington, and 24 staff members have students in the UA schools. And so the reason I put that slide on here is that we are committed to this community. We're committed to Greensview. We love this place with a passion and love and care about the students and families that go through school here. A little bit about Wycliffe. I am not an expert on Wycliffe, and so they are a choice school for you for the families that live in the home schools of Greensview, Windermere, and Tremont. And so Wycliffe has students that come from all of those areas to join them over there. They were founded in 1972. And have ties to OSU, who developed the progressive program there. And one of the unique things about them is they have multi-age classroom spaces where kindergartners and first graders are in class together all year long, and second and third graders are in class together all year long, and the same with 4th and 5th grade, and you spend 2 years with the same teacher. And their information night is on February 9th, beginning at 6:30. And if you have an interest in that, I would encourage you to join their webinar and get the particulars about their program from Angela Evans, who's their school principal. Laura?
Hi again, everybody. I'm the school counselor, and I have to say I feel very lucky to have this role in our school community because I get to spend so much time with your child while they're here at Greensview, from the first day they walk in till when they walk out as a 5th grader. And so it's such a joy to get to walk next to them and watch them learn and grow into the amazing young people that they become. As the kindergarten teachers have mentioned, social and emotional learning and activities and development is woven into the kindergarten school day every day. And so I supplement the wonderful things that they're already doing with some of the services offered or services on the screen here before you. In kindergarten, I do teach monthly classroom lessons. Twice a month, and monthly in the rest of the grade levels. There's also opportunities for small group counseling, where if there's a specific need or area of concern or a special interest perhaps that a small group of students have, I can meet with them weekly for a couple weeks to really hone in on that specific skill and develop some skills and strategies in that area. I meet with students individually, and students come down to my office all the time on their own with big and small problems. And teachers and parents can refer kids to me as well for psychoeducational skill building and processing the things that are on their minds. And one of the most important parts of my job is collaborating with you to make sure that your child is doing what they can do. Sorry, you're too fast, Jason. But some of the areas of focus that are covered in my school counseling program with the classroom lessons are listed down below with the types of things we'll cover in our bi-monthly lessons. You could go to the next slide. And here are just some images of things that have happened over the years. That one in the middle is some girls in a small group. They're creating a presentation that was going to be presented pre-COVID to everybody, and then COVID happened. But they were very excited to share their learning. And then that picture on the left there, we spend a lot of time at Greensview with emotional regulation and helping kids build that feelings vocabulary, being able to identify what they're feeling and manage that feeling. And so at the start of every lesson, we talk about how we're feeling and use zones of regulation curriculum and zone in. And I really think it's important to let kids know that feelings are just like weather, passing through, always changing, never lasting forever. But if they want to do something to change that feeling or manage it in a more proactive way, I teach school-wide the strategies that are on that image on the left of different things that they can do to work through whatever it is that they're feeling. If you have any questions as you get ready to send your child to us, please feel free to email me, and I look forward to getting to know you and your child.
Thank you, Laura. I'd like to just piggyback on the zones of regulation. There is a YouTube video on our district YouTube page. I would suggest that you go visit that. There's some good information out there. Dr. Kathy Lawton, who runs our Burbank Early Childhood School, did a presentation about the zones of regulation, and that might even be a good thing for you to use as a family, to use at home, so that get your child starting to talk about their emotions and feelings so that they can self-regulate when they come to Greensview when things might be challenging, or they might be challenged by something new. And so I would encourage you to check out that YouTube page. I mentioned earlier that our Greensview PTO and the school have an amazing relationship. We have worked really closely together over the years. They really have 2 large fundraisers during the year, and most of that covers a lot of the different offerings they have. They help support us in having cultural events and assemblies and author visits here at Greensview. If you've ever been past Greensview in the mornings or at the, it can be a little hectic with all the cars in and out, and they sponsor the police officer, have in the past sponsored the police officer for morning safety. We have a Fall Family Fun Night. That's an annual event that doesn't cost anything for the families to come and experience an amazing evening of fun and fall activities. We've done pancake breakfasts. Our main event is typically a big fundraiser, and that's an adult-only event, an auction that they sponsor. They also help buy things for the school, some of the extra bells and whistles that maybe we're not able to purchase, extra equipment, makerspace items. They also sponsor teacher grants. They also sponsor some teachers to run the choir program or student council. And it really has a lot of different options for people that want to get involved in the school. And I would encourage you, if you're new to the area and you're trying to make friends or make connections, the PTO is the way to do that. They actually have a really good time together when they get together. And there's even some quite a few social events that occur as part of being on the Greensview PTO. They have a website as well that talks about all the events and things that they have going on. And so I would encourage you to visit that, even starting now, to see what types of things we have over the remainder of the school year coming up. Greensview prides itself in its service learning. There was just a short slide here that at all grade levels, service learning will take place in some capacity each and every year. It is a big part of what Upper Arlington does. Serve, lead, and succeed is the vision in Upper Arlington City Schools, and so service is an important part of what we do. We've done a rockathon. We support Hoops for Heart, homeless shelters, the YWCA, and the Ronald McDonald House are just a couple of examples of some of the programs that we get our students involved with, and they really enjoy providing for others, as you can even see in the picture in the center there. Our rockathon this year broke all records, raising over $10,000, and so we're really proud of the efforts of our fourth grade and our Greensview families that really stepped up to make that experience a meaningful one for our kids. Some miscellaneous information here before we get to the end and get to some of the questions. We are the Greensview Lions, and a pride of Lions as a family. And so we have a Pride character education program where PRIDE is an acronym, and it stands for positive attitude, respect, integrity, duty, and empathy. And we use that language even starting in kindergarten in all of our classrooms and for all of our teachers all over the building. And it is a great way for us to catch kids doing great works around the building and build upon those skills so that they become well-rounded young adults before they move on to middle school and into their high school careers. We have a PAW Awards program that when we had larger assemblies, we did with regularity. And as soon as we can get through the COVID situation, we'll get those back on a monthly basis. In the interim, we started PAW stickers or Pride stickers. And you can see an example of one on the bottom left-hand corner. If we see kiddos exhibiting a positive attitude, we offer them a sticker and they can wear it around for the day. And that allows us to see that sticker on them and stop them in the hall and just ask what they did to earn that. And it reinforces the things that we're hoping to see in our kiddos every day. We have town meetings once a month is the goal, hopefully to get back to that when we can do that. And we plan on doing that again. And then in our amazing new building, there's technology all over the place here. Our students are one-to-one with iPads, and that even begins in kindergarten. And we have audio enhancement systems in the classrooms that the teachers are able to use so that all kids anywhere in the room can access the education and the learning that's going on. There's a quick video. I know you don't have an opportunity to get in the building tonight to see what it looks like. We'll probably have an open house or things this spring so that families can get in to see the school. But until then, you can take a look at this video. It gives you a glimpse into the school. You saw glimpses into the building. We have amazing learning stairs that are in our library, large common spaces that Kate already mentioned, that where a lot of the kindergarten play materials and things are that the children utilize every day. And our media center and library is kind of the main core and hub of the building. And I encourage you, if you haven't already brought your kiddos to the Greensview playground, I'm going to brag on a little bit. I feel like it's the best playground in Upper Arlington. It has a little bit of everything, and it'd be a great way for your kiddo to get familiar with Greensview if they can come over and spend some time and learn how to use some of the climbing structures and things that we have here. It's a neat mix of things that existed before the old building was taken down, and some mix of some new things. So it's a nice mix of new and old as far as playground equipment goes. This final slide here really just talks to the core of what we're really hoping to see in our kiddos. I know we spend a lot of time on the academics here, and that is only a portion of our job. We're really working hard with our kiddos every day to take risks and make it okay to fail, to cooperate with each other, to show empathy towards each other, to persevere and work hard through tough tasks and tough challenges, and to generally show respect and character and grit. And those are all things that we were going to work for the next 6 years with your children to develop and foster. We have a couple questions in the Q&A, and if anybody would like to add any more, please feel free to do that. One of the questions here is, what's your mask policy? And currently we are following the mask policy from the Board of Education, where masks are required in the building by staff and students and visitors. There are some people that have applied for, there is a possibility of a mask exemption. There is a waiver for that on the website that you can apply for. If for some reason that mask is not going to work for your child. But currently, as we stand right now, we're following the Board of Education and the recommendation for masking. And another one is a little specific, and so it's talking about daughter turning 5 this June, but hasn't been to preschool yet. And so I would encourage that person to maybe email me directly or give me a call, and we can kind of walk through your scenario together rather than sharing that one with the whole group here. And it's talking specifically about a recommendation for children that maybe haven't had any preschool experience. And please go ahead and give me a call or email me, and we can talk through the specifics of your child. If you have any additional questions, you can put them in the Q&A. We'll give you a minute or two. If not, that's the conclusion of our presentation this evening. We thank you for spending the 45 minutes with us, and we're very excited to meet you and work with you and to welcome your child to the Greensview family. We have another question in the Q&A. And if everybody's done, you may hop off, but I'll go ahead and keep answering questions as long as there's some on here. It says the question is, what's the protocol if there's a positive COVID exposure in the classroom? Gina, do you want to handle that one for me?
Yeah, sure. So currently the protocol, so our guidelines are consistently changing with ODH and Franklin County Public Health. And that's something that just happened yesterday. The protocol is, if there is a positive student or staff member in the class, we notify the class, everybody in the classroom. We do not make students self-quarantine based on, vaccination status. Everybody just gets a letter now stating that their student has come in contact with somebody in the classroom. And that's basically as far as we really go because of the new change in contact tracing guidance.
Thank you, Gina. We have a couple more questions popping in. Great. One here says, do we need to have all forms, immunization records, birth certificates, etc., submitted on the day we register online? You do not. You may register online and do all of that online. And in doing so, then you'll have an opportunity to go over to our Graph Center to turn all those paper documents and things in. And so that is an after the fact situation. Another question is, what are the aftercare options and or how is that facilitated? We have a school-age childcare program called SAC that takes place here at Greensview. It's a very popular program. And so if that's something that I think you would be interested in, there's a link on our district webpage that will give you information about trying to sign up for that. It is popular, so I would not wait very long on that. I would make sure that you get on their list or get on their waiting list as soon as possible. We also have several other area childcare programs that send their little buses and vans here to Greensview to pick up and transport their kiddos both in the morning before school and after school. And so there are several in the area. If you want to contact the main office, we can tell you which ones are that transport to us. We don't give recommendations because we don't know enough about the programs, but we can tell you which ones will transport to Greensview. And if you make contact with some of them, you can also find out through them if they transport to Greensview Elementary. One question here talks about, could you explain more about how you meet children where they are, and does each child have their own development curriculum? When we talk about meeting children where they are, what that means is we're going to have a wide range of kiddos when they arrive on that first day of school. We're going to have some that are already reading and some that are still learning their alphabet. And so we will take them academically where they are, and we take them social and emotionally where they are. Some children are ready to roll right from day one, and some kiddos have a hard time even emotionally leaving mom and dad at the door at the first day. And so with patience and consistency, that is truly our goal. And we have sometimes even have kiddos that might be in kindergarten but are ready for first grade math, and so we might accelerate them, and so that we're meeting their academic needs and their social emotional needs. What is the YouTube link that you mentioned when going over the counseling section? Absolutely. I don't have that off the top of my head. If you search on YouTube for Upper Arlington City Schools, you'll see basically a library of YouTube videos that the district has put out, and you will find that there. If you don't find it, shoot me an email and I will be happy to dig that up for you. How many children are in each kindergarten class? And apologies if I missed that at the beginning. I joined a few minutes late. Okay. I'll have to look at my list here real quick. I think we're in the 20s. We have 24, 23, and 25 at the moment. As a public school, that varies a little bit. That's why we love to get everybody registered as soon as possible so that we can make plans accordingly. Sometimes it's as low as 18, 19. This is probably the bigger kindergarten sections that we've had in quite a few years at 24 and 25. We have a question about a half-day option. We don't offer a half-day option. We offer a full-day program, but you do have the right to have your child come to half-day kindergarten if you would like. And basically what that means is you would start the day and then at lunchtime you would leave. In doing so, you would just understand that there will be content and things that happen in the afternoon that you would be missing. But that is certainly an option that the state still provides for families if you'd like to do a half-day program. There's nothing specific. You would just join a regular class and then leave at lunchtime. I'm seeing more questions, trying to keep up here. Is SAC available for kindergartners or only first and up? It is available to all students, kindergarten all the way through 5th grade. Is there information anywhere that provides the cost of daily lunch? Great question. The last 2 years, lunch has been free for everybody. And so I'm not sure where that's going to go. That has been a federal program that has provided free lunch for all students. And we have many kids obviously taking full advantage of that. Our lunch lines are very popular. And so there would be the nutrition site, our Upper Arlington website has everything that you might be asking for. You might have to dig around a little bit for that. There's probably not a cost on there right now since lunch is free for everybody. And so should that program go away, I'm sure that website will have that information for you, and we'll be sure to share that with beginning of school year correspondence and newsletters. Forgot to mention that I do send a weekly newsletter. That should be your one-stop shopping for all things Greensview. I know it's one more thing to read, but I really do encourage you to take a look at that every week when that gets sent home. Let's see here. As I'm scanning here, we have some fingers crossed that lunches stay free. People are tired of making lunches. And contact information to find out the after-school program that provides school transportation. We used to have a list. We don't do that anymore because we don't really want to promote the different types of programs that are out there. If you search around Greensview, you'll be able to find 5 or 6 different programs other than our own aftercare program that has offerings. If you want to email me too, I can kind of send you a few names of places that are around.